Hello, how's it going? Oop, got a little piece of hair sticking up. I made it worse. How we doing? How's it going? Crazy times. Got everyone in the chat popping off. People just got off work. It's all different times of day. All different times of day. Chilling on my balcony on a warm Barcelona summer night. Damn. That sounds nice. I like that. Where is everybody? Is everybody mostly American, or are there a bunch of people chilling on Spanish balconies right now? That's the real question. We're literally living in the Black Ops 2 timeline. I've never played it. Don't make me look up the Wikipedia page. Don't make me do it. Oh, nice. Wow, look at this. This is crazy. Antwerp, Vancouver, Toronto, Germany. Do we even have any Americans in the chat? I mean, I've got these poor people watching New York mayoral race stuff. Antwerp, Vancouver, Toronto, Germany, Western Canada, Vancouver, Michigan. All right, Michigan, we got an American. South Africa, Canada, Nevada. All right, another American. Ottawa, USA, another American. New Mexico, American. New York City, Michigan, Denver. Okay, we got some. Maybe the Americans are just late to respond a little bit here. That's okay. We damn, this is crazy though. People from all over. Melbourne, UAE. This is wow. Emil, I'm doing a phone bank tonight for Zoran. Hell yeah. Big ups to anyone. Which if you're not in the city and you want to participate, I believe they make it pretty easy to phone bank if you want to participate in that at all. I will personally be in New York this weekend. Going to be doing some canvassing for the boy. We got to bring this thing home. I mean, home stretch. The 24th is the election. Wow. Thank you for everyone who responded. That's crazy. I can't believe there's people from all over the place. That's got a couple Jersey people. Respect. Big respect. Honestly, while we are even talking about the Zoran thing, I feel like we gotta address the Brad Lander thing. I don't know if people were were in here when we did it or have watched since, but when the last stream we did, we were watching the New York mayoral race, and we gotta issue a major apology because we were having good fun about Brad Lander, okay? And things have obviously escalated in the Lander camp, I would say. And to be honest, we weren't making fun of his policies or anything. I always kind of understood that he was one of the good ones, but my God, we were joking about his crazy vibe. And you know what? We're gonna let him have his crazy vibe because he's obviously proven himself to be a real one. Yeah, people were comparing his pictures to I Think You Should Leave sketches, but you know, you gotta respect the guy. Like here, let's play a little bit of this is from, here we go. So this is from his wife tweeted this. Hi, this is Meg Barnett, Brad's wife. While escorting a defendant out of immigration court at 26 Federal Plaza, Brad was taken by masked agents and detained by ICE. This is still developing, and our team is monitoring the situation closely. And apparently, you know, there obviously people are going to come out and be like, "Oh, he's pulling a stunt to gain recognition and you know, do better in the mayoral race." He's been doing this for weeks, I guess, to make sure that He's escorting people because he knows that obviously ICE is not following any of the laws surrounding this stuff. So he's putting his body on the line, making sure that these people are safe.
Do you have a judicial warrant?
He's asking, do you have a warrant? Yeah.
Do you have a judicial warrant? Can I see the judicial warrant? Can I see the warrant? I will let go when you show me the judicial warrant. Where is it? Where is the warrant? I have it in my hand here. You're obstructing. You're obstructing. I would let go.
Yeah, someone pointed out in the chat, of course, Homeland Security and whoever has come out and like tried to, label Brad Lander. He was being violent, and that's why they manhandled him. And obviously, this is coming after the Alex Padilla thing.
You don't have authority to arrest U.S. citizens. Sir, you don't.
These people are
have
nuts.
authority to arrest U.S. citizens. You don't have. I'm not obstructing. I'm standing right here in the hallway. I asked to see the judicial warrant. By asking for a judicial warrant. You don't have the authority to arrest U.S. citizens asking for a judicial warrant. Stay back, please. Stay back. Stay back. No, ma'am. For your own safety. For your own safety.
Can't believe you're arresting.
Where are you taking him? Hello?
Hi,
Just ridiculous. But obviously, big ups to a real one. We're sorry for laughing. It's hard to take it all back because the vibe, I do agree, is still, and it's just an unfortunate vibe, but he's obviously a real one. What do you want me to do? Someone said to me, do you know why Blake wasn't at the second debate? My guy just vanished off. I think it was because I think he didn't meet whatever polling threshold or fundraising threshold you needed to hit to get into the second debate. So he wasn't allowed to be there. But yeah, this is so sincerest apologies to Brad Lander. We forgive the vibe, even if it is a little bit of a, obviously people have been taking this picture, and it's not just me. Some people have pointed out, why does he look like he looks a little bit like Tim Robinson. It looks a little like a Tim Robinson sketch at all times. But we are fine with that. We like his Tim Robinson vibes. We like his unironic Tim Robinson vibes. Okay? We're all happy with this. And of course, New Yorkers showed up. There was big protests. Zoran came out to make a statement. A lot of people, Julia Salazar. Cuomo, I think he had some tweets to give. Cuomo's not gonna, he's not getting anywhere for Brad Lander. But here, wait, I think I had another clip. I think he went on Chris Hayes. What was it? Let's see.
What would happen was what happened last week and the week before.
When you woke up today, were you trying to get arrested?
I mean, I had hoped what would happen was what happened last week and the week before, that I could walk peacefully out of the building with these families so they could reunite with their kids and continue to make their application for asylum. That is all I wanted.
So how are you feeling?
I mean, I feel angry. I feel sad. I wanted to see Edgardo be able to get out of the building.
I'm not going to say anything about the way he talks. I'm not even thinking anything about it. All I'm thinking about is how I like the guy, okay? The thoughts aren't even crossing my mind.
Button on my jacket, but I've got a good lawyer. I'll sleep in my bed tonight. He's in ICE detention. He has no lawyer. He's been stripped of status and due process.
So when you talk, what were you doing? In what building was it, and what were you doing in that hallway with him?
Yeah, so that was what we call the Federal Building, 26 Federal Plaza, and there's immigration hearings in it. This is the third week I've gone. And what started about 3 weeks ago is that the Department of Homeland Security has been moving essentially to strip people of their status. They were supposed to, they filed asylum applications for the most part, and they should get a hearing on whether they've got credible fear of violence or repression. Now DHS is stripping them of that. And then as soon as the
We get it. He's a good guy. He's a decent guy. I'm just, people can change, and I want to make sure I what was it, 2 weeks ago now? We've gone from 2 weeks to talking about the terrible vibe to, hey, rank Brad Lander second if you can. Hopefully anyone in New York, you already voted. Ooh, someone's already saying, I don't know, this looks like a stunt to me. Why? Even if it is a stunt, if this guy is escorting immigrants who have to put up with this bullshit, I mean, where's the harm? You know what I mean? I encourage everyone to do stunts like this. I don't, and he's been doing it for weeks without issue. So yeah, I mean, it's going to be hard for me to get on board with, calling it out as a stunt. I just hope Whitney wins. Hey, you and the New York Times. I don't know if I even have that article, but the New York Times did their insane non-endorsement endorsement. Let's see if we can even find it. Oh, it's going to be so hard to find. If someone has it, drop it in the chat. That would be great, but I'll see. Can't find it. But they basically did a non-endorsement and eventually ended up saying, I think they said Brad Lander or Whitney if you're more conservative or something like that. And they said Zoran doesn't have enough experience, so vote for the hedge fund guy. Vote for the hedge fund guy who has literally zero experience. I mean, I can see he has a lot of experience as a hedge fund manager. So. You said you were going to New York City to do canvassing. Why? No, I'm going to be in New York City. I'm not flying there for canvassing. That would be sick. I'm going to be in New York City, and while I'm there, I'm going to do some canvassing. So just want to clear that up. I do wish that I could. I wish I could do that. Why is it so hard to find the endorsement? Is it this one? Who should lead New York City? No. Ridiculous. I don't care. They can keep it. Emil, have you seen the Springsteen biopic trailer? Yeah, I'd play it, but I'd get copyright struck so fast, my head would spin. Honestly, I'm confused. I've Googled it. I can't. If someone knows, I don't know if that's him singing or not. If it is, it sounds exactly like Bruce Springsteen. So if it's not, it makes sense. They're just dubbing it. If it is, if that's Jeremy Allen White, good on Jeremy Allen White. He has absolutely nailed it. Um, be honest, how hard did you live out to the cross endorsement video? It was good. It's nice to see. It's just so much of this election. It's crazy that it's kind of garnered the attention of a national election, but so much of it feels reminiscent of 2020 and 2016 to a certain extent, but so much of it also feels different, where you actually have Brad Lander cross endorsing, you have Michael Blake cross endorsing, AOC coming out, Bernie. So there's this coalition around it of people, instead of getting around the establishment Dem, coming together to be like, that guy's a sicko. Don't vote for the sicko. So it is at least a little heartening seeing that. Someone's laughing about lib out, and it's like that phrase has popped up and entered everyone's vocabulary somehow. It is very funny. We're all living out. Sorry, what is cross endorsement? Cross endorsement is because it's a ranked choice voting system this time around. You don't just have to vote. You don't just have to place your vote for one person. You get to rank who you want to vote. You pick up to 5 candidates. So if you're really stoked on Zoran, you can rank 4 other people in order of how you like them. So people are asking their voters to rank other people in a cross endorsement. They're saying, vote for me, because if you like me, I want you to vote for me. But just in case I get knocked out because I don't hit the threshold, I'm advising you rank these other people because I think they have, similar policies to me. I think they'd be good for New York over these other people. So it's helpful that these other candidates who have less of a shot are now cross-endorsing Zoran to ask their supporters to support him as well. Did you ever further discuss or share your thoughts on them pressing Mamdani about visiting Israel? It really was truly unprecedented. I don't know how much I talked about it. I mean, we watched it in real time, so I don't remember. I don't want to, but I don't think I've talked about it anywhere else. I find it a little heartening, I will say, at least, because the response I've seen from people, instead of using this as an opportunity. Oops, I hit the I don't know. I hit the mute button on the mic. That's funny. I don't know where I was saying, but okay, guys, it's we got it. Is the mic back? It must be. Okay, great. But yeah, there's obviously going to be a little bit of people trying to use it for an opportunity to kind of smear him as an anti-Semite. But from what I've seen, a lot of the sentiment has been finding it profoundly weird, that we are forcing the mayor of New York to kind of express his allegiance to this foreign country and all that. So I find that a bit heartening. I think, there was let me see if I can find it, because there was a tweet that I think summed it up perfectly. And I think this is how people are starting to feel about it. Yeah, here, hold on. Oh, can you turn the mic up a little bit? Let me see. How's that? Is that better? Is the mic better now? But yeah, this. So I mean, this obviously was, this woman was.
Because you do not support, you will lose the election because you do not support Israel enough.
Which, so like, this is what I mean. I think people are starting to find this a bit odd, like just getting in this guy's face and telling him he's going to lose the New York City mayoral race because he doesn't support Israel enough. He's there to serve New York City. But this tweet I found just very funny and really kind of sums it up perfectly. Imagine if Greek New Yorkers constantly pestered candidates about Cyprus and demanded they denounce Turkish aggression. That would be weird. American Jews have become way too comfortable demanding everyone else care about their provincial right-wing nationalist grievances. Yeah, so I mean, I think there's a little bit of me that thinks it's starting to backfire a little bit. Yeah, someone said again, what's with America and Israel? Yeah, I think it is starting to backfire a little bit. I think people are starting to kind of question why we have this unique relationship with this foreign country. And that's especially playing out now with everything going on with Iran and Israel, which we'll get to. I just want to stay on the mayor's race for 1 second, because there was a really funny there's a really funny article. I don't know if people saw the the Annie Lowry article in the Atlantic. But just, she had the headline, New York is not a democracy. Too few voters are choosing the next mayor, which is an odd headline when, a young, left-leaning, progressive-leaning, mostly unheard of candidate is driving like a huge surge in popularity right now, and galvanizing voters all across the city, getting people excited about it. So it's just, and yeah, okay, I used removepaywalls.com, so sue me. Okay, it's the Atlantic. Okay. But yeah, it's just, she's talking about how for most of the country, June is a moment of quiescence in the campaign cycle. The president has just been inaugurated. Many House and Senate candidates haven't declared yet. Homes are unmolested by flyers. Television watchers are unbothered by advertisement. But it's a different story in New York City, where former Governor Andrew Cuomo is in an improbably close race for mayor with Zohran Mamdani, a 33-year-old Democratic socialist and member of the state assembly. Now, let's get to where right. So she's saying proponents of ranked choice voting say is the most democratic form of democracy. I would say this was huge. It passed. They voted on this. It first started in 2021, and we ended up with Eric Adams. It's now 2025. We've got a bit of a different story. Cuomo is likely to get more first-choice votes than any other candidate, but he's not projected to win an outright majority, meaning that the ranked choice system would kick in. Candidates after candidate would get knocked out and their supporters' votes reapportioned. In the end, the political scion with a multi-million-dollar war chest and blanket name recognition could lose to the young millennial whom few New Yorkers have heard of as of last year. I feel like this is such a weird way to say that this is undemocratic. In the end, the political scion with a multi-million-dollar war chest and blanket name recognition could lose to the young millennial whom few New Yorkers had heard of as of last year. To me, that sounds like, okay, the guy who would win without a system like this, just banking on being a political scion. Literally, his dad is a famous politician. He's got multi-million-dollar war chest and name recognition. Instead, we get the chance to hear from someone else. But that's undemocratic. Yeah, someone point out it's Ezra Klein's wife, which led to her getting in a whole mess on Twitter. Oh, she gets into it. Seeing a no-name upstart attempt to upset a brand name heavyweight is thrilling, but the system has warped the political calculus of the mayoral campaign. Oh my God. Candidates who might have dropped out are staying in. Wow, yeah, that's undemocratic. You're telling me people might get to actually vote for the candidate they want in this ranked choice voting system? Yeah, someone Tosin says saying that the rich guy losing to the poor guy is undemocratic is very telling of her view of democracy as a whole. This is just ridiculous. I mean, she rightfully points out his, although this is crazy. Cuomo's got a fat resume. He was Secretary of Housing and Urban Development under Bill Clinton, Attorney General of New York, and Governor of New York. His centrist but decidedly Democratic. Why? Why is it decidedly Democratic? Democratic politics probably best match the city's constituents. How can you say that? He's promising good schools, a working subway, tax cuts, and more housing while bashing other candidates for failing to. This feels so irresponsible too, as like, he's got so many issues with these things. Cutting funding to the MTA during his record, all of this. He's got a ton of money, having garnered $3.9 million in direct donations and the support of $13 million Superback, its biggest donors, DoorDash. Great. Oof. Yeah. He carpetbagged into until recently. He was living in Westchester. Yeah. He's bunking in his daughter's $8,000. How does anyone find this guy appealing? Ugh, this is Mamdani's Cuomo's rumpled earnest foil. His resume is thin. He worked as a campaign operative for a few years before winning a state assembly seat in 2020. He is a leftist in the Bernie Sanders mold. She means that derogatorily, I would imagine, with a raft of great sounding policies: free buses, free childcare, cheap groceries, frozen rents. But a lot of these are impractical at best. Free buses would deprive the MTA of needed revenue. Okay, she refuses to point out that they've done pilot programs on this, and it was actually Zoran who led those. And he's talked about how he wants to raise the money to do it. Free childcare would require a mammoth tax hike that Albany would need to approve. Cheap groceries, Mamdani says, could be provided by new city-run stores. Again, these are like pilot programs. I think he's even on the record really recently, like within the last couple of days, of saying like, yes, he wants to try some of these city-run stores in small ways in places that could really use them, and he hopes they work. But I mean, at least someone's trying something. Someone's trying to provide, some support for people. You predicted Trump winning, right? This is from Hamster Eater. You predicted Trump winning, right? I did, yes. Have you made an official prediction for this race yet? No, I'm too scared to. I don't want to jinx anything, okay? I just really want this to happen. Here's the most annoying one thing the candidates share, I suppose, is that both get accused of being nepo babies. Mamdani's mother made the 1991 indie romance Mississippi Masala. Cuomo's father was governor of New York. Holy shit. You guys know how those two things are exactly the same, right? Andrew Cuomo, father. Doesn't he have a bridge named after him? Yeah, I mean, Jesus Christ. They changed the name of the Tappan Zee Bridge. They changed the name of the bridge in 2017, but that's the same as your mom making Mississippi Masala. What are you doing, Annie? He doesn't have big money personally or politically. What do you mean personally? Isn't he isn't he from the Mississippi masala fortune? Isn't he set to inherit billions because his mom made Mississippi masala? Christ. These candidates have failed to win significant support. Cuomo is focused on Mamdani, painting him not incorrectly as inexperienced. Trump would go through Mr. Mamdani like a hot knife through butter, he said in a debate. He's been in government 27 minutes and he passed 3 bills. This is the guy who also said that, we just need to not overreact when Trump does stuff that's unconstitutional. So he actually wouldn't have to go through Cuomo like a hot knife because Cuomo wouldn't get in his way, it seems like. You guys get it. It's yeah. She's also saying that like it's not fair because New Yorkers are barely going to vote in this because it's not a real election year. Meanwhile, it seems like with the entrance of Mamdani into the race, there's a mass amount of excitement. You're seeing a huge surge in voter turnout compared to last time. So, I think she maybe missed the mark on that one. She's also been getting a little bit, someone made fun of her for being Ezra Klein's wife, which, whatever, you should be able to make fun of someone for marrying Ezra Klein. But, she was saying it was some kind of sexist attack, and now she's been trying to defend the article. And you know what? I'll be honest, I got in on it a little bit because she was responding to something and they were making fun of her for, not supporting these popular policies that people want. And she said, I love the idea of universal health care, written about it quite a bit. That said, I think it makes sense as a federal policy, not a municipal one. This is such an insane thing to say. This is honestly what kind of drives me crazy about liberals sometimes. I can't tell if they're just the most cynical people in the world or if they're... So she loves the idea of universal childcare, right? She loves it so much that she thinks it should be federal policy. And that's she'll fight for it for that. Okay. So she'll go to bat for making sure Donald Trump institutes universal childcare. But as a municipal one, I don't know. Sounds a bit unrealistic to me. A city getting it? I don't know. That I support it so much that I don't actually support that. So I couldn't help but, liberals just exist to politely stand in the way of progress. They want to tell you why you're unrealistic for wanting social goods while assuring you that they do actually support those things, but also not in the way you're proposing that currently has popular support. Annie, you're driving me nuts. But yeah, I mean, this is just another aspect of why it feels so much like 2020, seeing all the things come out, all the articles. The New York Times non-endorsement and endorsing 2 people. This is the people who in 2020 endorsed, I believe, Elizabeth Warren and Amy Klobuchar. They did a dual endorsement and said, hey, we're staying out of it. You guys have fun. We think you guys should have fun with this. But yeah, I'm really hoping we can finally do something good. I think it feels like we're so close, and it's going to hurt if we can't get it over the finish line. Have you been Internet Shaquille? Hi, how are you? Have you been keeping up with the downfall of the All In podcast? I've not really. It's actually something I need to look into. I would love to. I need to get on top of it. It's something I'm very curious about. All right, you know what? We can put the New York mayoral race put to the side for a second, because I feel like the real story here is we gotta talk about Tucker and Ted. Okay, we just gotta talk about Tucker Carlson. Gotta talk about Ted Cruz. If you're anything like me, you saw this tweet early this morning, advertising the latest episode of the Tucker Carlson show, you know? And let's just play it. It's really beautiful.
People living around, by the way.
I don't know the population.
At all?
No, I don't know the population.
You don't know the population of the country you seek to topple?
How many people living around?
92 million.
Okay. Yeah.
I'm sorry, but that little okay is beautiful. Just a guy who just realizes, all right, fine, I got fucking worked.
Country you seek to topple?
How many people living around?
92 million.
Okay.
Okay. If I ever hit you with an okay like that, just know I want you dead.
Yeah.
How could you not know that?
I don't sit around memorizing population tables.
Well, it's kind of relevant because you're calling for the overthrow of the government.
Why is it relevant whether it's 90 million or 80 million or 100 million? Why is that relevant?
Because if you don't know anything about the country...
I didn't say I don't know anything about
Okay, what's the ethnic mix of Iran?
They are Persians and
What
predominantly Shia. Okay, this is cute.
It's not
okay.
even... You don't know anything about Iran. So
okay,
actually,
I am not the Tucker Carlson expert on Iran.
You're a senator who's calling for the overthrow of the government.
You're the one who
don't know
claims
anything about the country.
No, you don't know anything about the country. You're the one who claims they're not trying to murder Donald Trump. You're the
I'm
one
not saying that.
who can't figure out if it was a good idea to kill General Soleimani, and you said it was bad.
You don't believe they're trying to murder Trump.
Yes, I do.
Because you're not calling for military strikes against them in retaliation. And if you really believe that...
We're carrying out military strikes today.
You said Israel was.
Right, with our help. I said we. Israel is...
This is crazy. Ted, you're honestly drowning, my guy, and no one's going to save you.
Leading them, but we're supporting them.
Well, you're breaking news here, because the U.S. government last night denied, the National Security Council spokesman Alex Pfeiffer denied on behalf of Trump that we were acting on Israel's behalf in any offensive capacity.
No, we're not bombing them. Israel's bombing them.
You just said we were.
We are supporting
this is
Israel.
High stakes. You're a senator. If you're saying the United States government is at war with Iran right now, people are listening.
Okay. The glee on Tucker Carlson's face. Look, brings me no joy to be supporting. I'm not supporting him, but I mean, the guy's going in on the boy. I mean, this is the problem. This is where we are. We don't have a our anti-war coalition is this is who we have to work with. Marjorie Taylor Greene and Tucker Carlson. So at this point, I'll take whoever we can get, because I don't know. I don't want to die in nuclear war. Yeah, it is very upsetting that we have to, but there is so much. There's so much here. There's let me see what else. I mean, this one where he's talking to Ted Cruz about what they seem to have different ideas on what AIPAC does, number one, and what a senator's supposed to do. Let's just watch. I mean, it's also really telling this. I think this goes along with what I was talking about, where I think with the Zoran question about, you know, if he's going to Israel and all that stuff, I think people are kind of going like, wait, why? What is our connection to Israel, this foreign country? Let's just... That's, I think if anyone's been paying attention, I don't know, the past 20 months, that's a crazy. Oh, also, I just realized I didn't put it on the screen, and that's on me, guys. Let's just take a moment. I want you guys to appreciate my apology on that.
No, it's an American lobby. It's the AIPAC stands for the America-Israeli Political Action Committee.
What does it lobby for?
So, to be honest, not a whole lot effectively. Listen, I came into Congress 13 years ago
Yes.
with the stated intention of being the leading defender of Israel in the United States Senate.
Great.
And
Isn't that such a weird... I don't know. He came into Congress 13 years ago to be the leading defender of Israel? I mean, do you think that's what he was trying to sell voters on?
So, to be honest, not a whole lot effectively. Listen, I came into Congress 13 years ago
Yes.
with the stated intention of being the leading defender of Israel in the United States Senate.
Great.
And I've worked every day to do that. AIPAC, a lot of times, AIPAC, I wish were much more effective. Like,
He wishes AIPAC was much more effective.
there are
But
folks
hold on, but what do they
online
do?
who are in
I
the
thought they
fever
were-
swamp of
aren't-
terrified of AIPAC, and AIPAC,
I'm not terrified of AIPAC at all. You're the one who seems a little uncomfortable when I'm asking.
no,
this.
not uncomfortable at all.
I'm just asking what AIPAC does. My understanding,
Also very brave of, well, you know what, I'm just...
having known a lot of
I
people who
could
work
tell
at
you,
AIPAC,
I
is
deal
that
with
it
them all the time.
lobbies on behalf of the Israeli government.
Wrong.
Oh, okay.
No, it's
When
objectively
was the
wrong.
last time AIPAC took a position that deviated from Prime Minister Netanyahu?
All the time.
Name one.
Okay. Let me go back and give a little history.
This is so frustrating. Like, we can't even operate on like a basis of the same facts. We don't even live in the same world. It's like he's like, AIPAC actually doesn't lobby for the country of Israel. They actually aren't even interested in doing that. And then he's like, there's actually tons of examples of them not doing that. Okay, name one. Hold on.
Position that deviated from Prime Minister Netanyahu.
All the time.
Name one.
Okay. Let me go back and give a little history. If you want to do a deep dive on AIPAC,
Look, I can name one, but first I have to give you history.
I don't. I want to do a shallow dive that gets.
no,
I want to do a shallow dive as a great... I'm going to start saying that. I'd actually like to do a shallow dive.
I want to get to the core question. AIPAC is lobbying for a foreign government, and I don't. It's not. It's
No.
lobbying for the United States.
it is lobbying for a strong U.S.-Israeli relationship.
Okay.
And
So it's not has nothing to do with
This
the
is
foreign government.
absurd.
it wants America and Israel to be closely allied.
Okay, but it's lobbying on behalf of the interests of another country.
So that's not true at all. And if
It's
you
not true.
no, and
How much contact do you think AIPAC leaders have with the government of Israel?
no idea. I
Any, do you
imagine
think?
some. I think the government of Israel is often frustrated with AIPAC
you think
because
there's
AIPAC's
any
not
co-
nearly strong enough.
Do you think there's any coordination between the government of Israel and AIPAC?
Do they talk? Sure. If you're lobbying for more U.S.-Mexico trade, would you talk to people in the U.S. and Mexico and the government? Sure. Like if
So I'm not mad about that. There are a million countries that lobby Washington. I like a lot of those countries, including
okay,
Israel.
but AIPAC are Americans. They're not Israelis.
Hold on. There are tons of Americans who lobby on behalf of foreign governments. I know them. I'm related to some of them. I know how it works. I'm from here. So my question is not, is it outrageous that foreign governments lobby the United States? They all do, okay, including Israel. My only question is, why don't we admit that is what's happening? You're denying it, but it's true.
Yeah,
and
but
why
because
aren't
what
they,
you're saying is false.
Why aren't they registered
What
as
you're
a foreign lobby?
Because they're not.
You do have to give it to Ted Cruz. I mean, it's impressive. He's making me feel sympathetic towards Tucker Carlson. I'm watching Tucker Carlson be just an absolute snarky prick, and I'm like, yeah, I like that guy better. But Christ. Oh man, I'm getting some kind of I don't know, some kind of warning from YouTube. Did I just get like copyright bullshit? This is so annoying. Let's see. Hmm. Mm. I don't know. Well, we'll find out later. We'll find out later. Because what else can we do? Why does YouTube make it so confusing for people? Whatever. It's not what I want to talk about. If they fuck my shit up again, they'll fuck my shit up again. Yeah, someone said if you showed that video to someone like 8 years ago, they wouldn't believe it. It's also just so crazy. I mean, this guy's gonna try to. So this is from the American Prospect. It looks like a joint from maybe Drop Site as well, because Ryan Grimm's on here, David Dan. But AIPAC demands Democrats stand with Israel, and it's just so weird. People are joking that I'm getting the warning because I'm criticizing Israel. I don't know. What's frustrating? So this is from Cool Nancy Pelosi. What's frustrating is it's all semantics, though. Like Tucker supports Israel at the end of the day, so it's not even that substantive of a discussion. I actually think it is. I mean, that clip. This is what I'm talking about. Like, maybe I don't know if you were in here. We were talking about the Zoran question. I think just people used to kind of just say, they just accepted, like, yeah, we have this unique relationship with Israel, and I think people are starting to go like, wait, but why? And I think this clip is going to be seen widely, and I think that's really just going to reinforce people's confusion about this relationship. But him talking about how ineffective this lobbying group is. I mean, they clearly mobilize, in these last couple days after Israel's attacks on Iran. So they wrote, the American Israel Public Affairs Committee, AIPAC, has been furiously urging House Democrats to release messages of steadfast support for Israel in its war with Iran. The Prospect and Drop Site News too have learned, even as bipartisan lawmakers come together on a War Powers Act resolution to prevent U.S. troops or funds being used in yet another Middle East conflagration. One member relayed that a colleague had received literally 100 phone calls from members of AIPAC and its allied pressure groups. AIPAC wants House Democrat members to state explicitly that they stand with Israel in its actions against Iran aimed at destroying the Islamic Republic's nuclear capability, and add that Iran must never have a nuclear weapon. Yeah, let's see what they were. Jayapal says AIPAC took issue with her statement. They were, let's see. Israel's reckless escalatory strikes on Iran risk igniting a larger regional war and undermine planned negotiations for a potential new nuclear deal. Netanyahu must not be allowed to pull America into another forever war. Instead, we must immediately push for negotiated de-escalation. Yeah, I don't know, gang. This doesn't feel like we need them to be doing more. They seem to spring into action whenever they need them. I hope no one minds, but I want to play some more Ted Cruz, because this has just been a wild day. Let's see. Oh yeah, we gotta go with the old. We gotta know where Ted Cruz's support for Israel comes from. I'm curious. The senator from Texas. Why did he come in 13 years ago thinking he wants to defend Israel in Congress? Let's find out.
Growing up in Sunday school, I was taught from the Bible, those who bless Israel will be blessed, and those who curse Israel will be cursed. And from my perspective, I want to be on the blessing side of things.
Of those who bless the government of Israel?
Those who bless Israel is what it says. It doesn't say the government of, it says the nation of Israel. So that's in the Bible. As a Christian, I believe that.
Where is that?
This is such a funny situation too, where he's just getting like, does Ted Cruz know fucking anything? He's gonna get asked. Where's that? Where'd you see that in the Bible?
I believe that.
Where is that?
I can find it to you. I don't have the scripture off the tip of my. You pull out the phone and use the Google.
It's in Genesis.
And then he just gets worked again. Tucker, don't make me like you. I don't want to watch.
So you're quoting a Bible phrase. You don't have context for it. And you don't know where in the Bible it is, but that's like your theology. I'm confused. What does that even mean?
Tucker,
I'm a Christian. I want to know what you're talking about.
Okay. Where does my support for Israel come from? Number one, because biblically we're commanded to support Israel. But number two,
Isn't it so weird? I don't know. Everyone talks about like these countries in the Middle East as these, theocratic freaks. And then, you hear between this and the Mike Huckabee message to Trump, where he's like, you are listening to God's voice and deciding whether or not to nuke these people. And you have this guy, like, he's making his decisions biblically. But like, I mean, where do we get off?
okay, where does my support for Israel come from? Number one, because biblically we're commanded to support Israel. But number two,
Well, hold on.
I'm not holding on.
Hold on. You're a senator, and now you're throwing out theology, and I am a Christian, and I am allowed to weigh in on this. We are commanded as Christians to support the government of Israel?
We are commanded to support Israel. And what
does that mean, Israel?
We're told those who bless Israel will be blessed.
But what? Hold on. Define Israel. This is important. Are you kidding? This is a majority Christian country.
Define Israel? Do you not know what Israel is? That would be the country you've asked like 49 questions about.
So that's what Genesis refers.
Yeah, because I can't.
That's what God is talking about.
The nation of Israel, yes.
And so is that the current borders, the current leadership? He's talking about the political entity called Israel?
He's talking about the nation of Israel. Yeah, nations exist, and he's discussing a nation. A nation was the people of Israel.
Is the nation
They're the
God's
descendants of
referring
Abraham.
to in Genesis, is that the same as the country run by Benjamin Netanyahu right now?
Yes.
Whoo, boy. I'm good. I'm happy. I like this. I think this is cool. I'm glad we have strong leaders like Ted Cruz. How about you guys? Do you guys feel like he's do you guys feel like he represents how you feel? You feel good about having him in Congress. A lot of people are getting annoyed that Tucker's making points they agree with, and I'll tell you what. I regret to inform you, there's more. Okay, let me have this. Okay, because this is just. It's bonkers.
Do you think
Hey, what the hell's going on here?
that it's just interesting because what you're now describing in a very defensive way, I will say, is foreign influence over our politics.
No.
And you began,
I like every time he says no.
and it's so transparently obvious to everybody. I don't know why you would be embarrassed of it. You've said that you are sincerely for Israel. I believe you. I don't think you have some weird agenda. You seem to be sincere.
By the way, Tucker, it's a very weird.
This is what's so confusing about it all. And like, whenever I've talked to people about this, they're like, so they have this like cognitive dissonance. He's like, I came into Congress to be the most supportive of Israel. And then he's like, it feels like you're broadly supportive of Israel. He's like, no. Like,
do you think that it's just interesting because what you're now describing in a very defensive way, I will say, is foreign influence over our politics?
No.
And you began, and it's so transparently obvious to everybody. I don't know why you would be embarrassed of it. You've said that you are sincerely for Israel. I believe you. I don't think you have some weird agenda. You seem to be sincere.
By the way, Tucker, it's a very weird thing. The obsession with Israel. When we're talking about foreign countries,
it's hardly an obsession.
You're not talking about Chinese. You're not talking about Japanese. You're not talking about the Brits. You're not talking about the French. The question: what about the Jews? What about the Jews?
Oh, like I'm an anti-Semite now.
Senator, you're asking the questions, Tucker. You're asking, why are the Jews controlling our foreign policy?
Senator,
that's what you just.
that's not what he said. This is like, it's this kind of stuff where I do feel like people are getting tired of this. They don't like. I do think it's important for people to see someone asking about, like, foreign influence, get flat out, ask the question, and then him turn it and say he's blaming Jews.
Just asked.
Hardly saying that. And I have...
That is exactly what you just said.
Well, actually, I can speak for myself and tell you what I am saying.
Good.
On behalf not simply of myself, but on of my many Jewish friends who would have the same questions, which is to what extent, and it's interesting you're trying to derail my questions by calling me an anti-Semite, which you are.
I did not.
Of course you are. And rather than be honorable enough to say it right to my face, you are in a sleazy feline way implying it, or just asking questions about the Jews. I'm not asking questions about the Jews. There's nothing to do with Jews or Judaism. It has to do with the foreign government.
Isn't Israel controlling our foreign policy? That's not about the Jews.
You said, I'm asking you.
And by the way, you're the one that just called me, I think, a sleazy feline. So let's be clear.
It's sleazy to imply that I'm an anti-Semite, which you just did.
No, I just said, why is that the only question you're asking? You answer it. Give me another reason. If you're not an anti-Semite, give me another reason why the obsession is Israel.
I am in no sense obsessed with Israel. We are on the brink of war with Iran. And so these are valid questions.
Okay, so we're taking shallow dive. We're taking sleazy feline. Those are ours now. I want to go on a shallow dive, you sleazy feline.
You're not asking about Iran or the
if I can
Ayatollah.
finish, you asked me why I'm obsessed with Israel.
Yep.
3 minutes after telling me that when you first ran for Congress, you elucidated one of your main goals, which is to defend Israel.
Yes.
And I'm the one who's obsessed with Israel. I don't see a lawmaker's job as defending the interests of a foreign government, period. Okay. Any government, including the ones that my ancestors come from. So that's my position. That does not make me an anti-Semite. And shame on you for suggesting otherwise. And I mean...
Whoo! Look, Tucker is unfortunately cooking. What can we do? What can we do? It would be great if, we had, I don't know, is there any journalist who would talk to or like left-wing journalist or whatever you would want to call them, Democratic, who would talk to high-ranking Democrats in this way? Because that would be, I mean, I bet there are some who would do it, but high-ranking Democrats would never go on those shows, right? There's no way they're being exposed to that. So, what does shallow dive mean? I think he was just messing with him. I think he was just messing with him because he was like, you want to go on this deep dive? And he said, no, I want to go on a shallow dive. And it's a very funny thing. And so that one in Sleazy Feline, that's ours. Sorry, pal. We're taking it from you. Someone said off topic, but have you found an alternate to LibGen? Does LibGen not work anymore? Don't tell me LibGen doesn't work. That's the last thing I need. The last thing I need. All right, who's up for one last one? And then I swear to God, I'll stop. I swear to God, you'll never hear from Tucker Carlson again. I mean, you might, because, if he keeps doing this, what am I going to do? Stay away because I made a promise that I can't keep? No. And it's only 50 seconds, all right? We're going to be in and out. We're going to be in and out.
I'm asking about your allegation and the Prime Minister of Israel's allegation that Iran is trying to murder the president.
Killing terrorists is a good thing. Killing people who are trying to murder Americans is a good thing. Because if you're America first, you want to protect America. And so killing Osama bin Laden was a fantastic day for the world.
But you don't really believe that they're trying to murder Trump, or
Yes, I do. Yes, I do.
Then why aren't you calling for military action against Tehran right now?
Because they're not very effective. In terms of hitmen, their hitmen are not very effective. I do think...
So they're hitmen, but not the bad kind, the efficient kind?
No,
what are you saying?
They're a weak country who is on its knees, and I think we need to...
Then why are we so afraid of them? Why are they the biggest threat if they're a weak country that's on its knees?
Because they're trying...
I'm trying to keep track.
They're trying to develop... Be a little less snarky.
I know, you're right. That is a problem that I have. I'm sorry.
He's making me like him, okay? That little where he just acknowledges that he's being a bit of a bitch. What am I supposed to do with that?
Be a little less snarky.
I know, you're right. That is a problem that I have. I'm sorry.
This isn't fair, you know? This is not I'm sorry if any of you now like Tucker Carlson because of me. This was not my intention. All right? But oh shit, did they take me offline? Wait, am I back? Did it? Am I back? I can't tell. Oh, fuck. I think I'm back. Wow. Okay. Jesus. Ridiculous. What does that mean? Is my channel going to be fucked now? All right, chill with the clips. I'm done. I'm done. Dude, who knew Tucker was I just got put in timeout? This is ridiculous. Absolute ridiculous. To get treated this way? I'm so pissed. What's the point? Why even have this if I can't like comment on something? This is such a stupid platform. Oh my god. You need to get on Twitch. Does Twitch not bother you with this bullshit? Oh my god. Yeah, I don't know. It's so weird. Okay, yeah, you know what? We can talk about that because everything else is off limits. Someone said, "Wait, Emil, also your tweets about that other DeRosa lady make me laugh so hard." Thank you for anyone who's I've seen a couple people answer questions. You know, people will ask if I'm really. If you haven't seen it, there is unfortunately there's unfortunately one of Cuomo's top aides. Here, let me pull this up. Is hey, pal. Come on. Oh shit. Come here. Kev. Come here. Come on. Come here. Okay. And I muted it. Literally everything could not be going worse right now. That's not true. Everything's fine. But there's unfortunately a Cuomo's top aide was this woman, Melissa DeRosa. And if that last name sounds familiar, it's because that's my last name. And obviously very pissed that this woman even supports the guy. Apparently they had also a romantic relationship, if you believe some of this reporting. But I had a little fun because I tweeted, God, how long ago was that? Oh, where is it? Maybe I tweet too much, you know? I don't know where the first one was. Oh, yeah, great. Oh, wow, 27,000. Melissa, it's your brother. Mom and Dad want you to stop tweeting stuff like this. It's not who we are. And I think there's a good amount of people who think that I'm actually her brother. And I think there's a lot of libs who are having fun with it. So Mom and Dad want a Marxist socialist to destroy New York City. But then, yeah, I couldn't. It pisses me off seeing her. So also she tweets pretty much everything without you can't reply. She doesn't allow it, which is such a coward move, Melissa. But so I get the socialist logic. Electing a 67-year-old, she's talking about Cuomo. Electing a 67-year-old is bad because we all must rise up to defeat the gerontocracy. But being endorsed by an 83-year-old is the greatest thing of all time. Got it. I hope she can see the difference between those two. Also, I haven't heard much of the argument that, you know, the Cuomo problem is that he's too old. But so I honestly did not think it was going to, oh, geez, better get off that real quick. Whew, we almost just ended up in jail again. Yeah, I definitely don't think that is the reason people hate Cuomo. And that's not really, people are really focusing on his record here, Melissa. And like, okay, they're also not talking about electing an 83-year-old to Congress, you moron. I mean, as mayor. It's an endorsement from a legendary progressive politician, which there's like few of in this country. So you can't reply to her, so you gotta just go with a quote tweet. I don't like. Can she not turn off quote tweets? Go private or something. I mean, you basically just exist to get dunked on. I mean, look, like every tweet is basically this. She gets like her 300 likes. She's like, wow, I'm doing pretty good out there. Every one of these is just like 10,000 like plus tweet of someone going like, you're a fucking moron. Oh boy. Great. Can't believe I'm going to have a call with YouTube now. They're going to be so pissed at me. You know what? This is fine. We can show some. This is good. We can show. I had a couple tweets I wanted to bring up. This way we won't get in trouble. Obviously, along with the Tucker Carlson thing, it is very disheartening that in this country there's not much of a. There doesn't seem like a very forceful resistance to this war with Iran. That, I mean, we're going to talk about it on the pod tomorrow. So I mean, I'll try not to go over it because you should tune in tomorrow. We go over it all. But it's just so crazy to see like There's Thomas Massey introduced some legislation in the House, the War Powers Act, to make sure everything has to go through Congress, and obviously some Democrats have signed on, some high-profile ones. Ro Khanna, AOC, I think Rashida Tlaib, Ilhan Omar. But I don't think I've seen anything even remotely as forceful as this tweet from Marjorie Taylor Greene. And again, this brings me no joy. And also to be clear, I have problems with this tweet as well. But she said, everyone is finding out who the real America First MAGA and who were fake and just said it because it was popular. Unfortunately, the list of fakes are becoming quite long and expose themselves quickly. Anyone slobbering for the U.S. to become fully involved in the Israel-Iran war is not America First. MAGA, wishing for murder of innocent people is disgusting. That's hard to disagree with. We are sick and tired of foreign wars, all of them. And I think that's probably true all across the board for Americans. I think people are not really seeing the benefit of going to war all the time. And this one will quickly engulf the Middle East, BRICS, and NATO as countries are required to take a side. Real America First MAGA wants world peace for all people and doesn't want our military killed and forever injured physically and mentally. We love our U.S. military and love them helping to secure our borders and our cities for the defense of our people and our country. See, this, she's one of the people who has done the, calling for the National Guard or the Marines or whoever to come in and bust some heads, because she obviously hates the ICE protests and all that. So it's like, you got to take all this with a grain of salt. There are friends, spouses, cousins, nieces, nephews, sisters, brothers, sons, and daughters. We have spent trillions in the Middle East, and we have dealt with the aftermath of death, blown apart bodies, never-ending suicides, and disabling PTSD. I mean, hard to argue with her on some of this. All because they told us propaganda as to why we must sacrifice our own to defend some other country's borders and some other country's borders. I don't want to see Israel bombed or Iran bombed or Gaza bombed. Great. None of us want to see that. I don't want to see Ukraine bombed or Russia bombed. Agree. And we do not want to be involved or required to pay for any of it. Also agree. I don't want my tax dollars going to this. We're $36 trillion in debt and have mountains of our own problems. We have giant planks sticking out of our own eyes while we complain about splinters in other eyes. That's a weird way to put it. Every country involved and all over the world can be happy, successful, and rich if we all work together and seek peace and prosperity. Taking this position is not anti-Semitic. It's rational, sane, and loving toward all people. Taking this position of peace and prosperity for all is not isolationism. It leads to great trade deals and great economies that help all people. It's what many Americans voted for in 2024. I do think that's true. Trump did try to position himself as the peace candidate. I think a lot of people knew better. I think if I actually believed he was a peace candidate, I think that's something that would have enticed me, but I didn't believe that. But I think he did his best to sell that. Someone wrote something broken clock. Yeah, sure. I want to point out I'm not placing any hopes on Marjorie Taylor Greene changing her wicked ways and becoming a voice of reason and someone that we can depend on to stick up for Americans. It's just, I just want to know where this, where is this from the Democrats? I mean, it's just crazy that they are taking this, they're getting to have this principled stance. Especially when I'm sure people have seen the most prominent Democrats in the country right now, Chuck Schumer, was saying that number one, his job is to keep the left pro-Israel, which I do think he believes. Same way, this is bipartisan. Ted Cruz came in wanting to be leader for Israel. Chuck Schumer sees his job as being pro-Israel, and then he, the last thing I heard him talk about was he was goading Trump, calling him Taco Trump, saying don't fold on Iran, trying to egg him on. So not good, folks. People are making strange bedfellows. I think it's going to be a Someone wrote, politics used to be complex. People used to have different views on each issue, and now everything has been boiled into culture war. So moments like this with MTG and Tucker are so jarring. I do think I think that's very true, and like it's accurate, especially like there are a lot of. It is a pretty recent thing where it was kind of this monolithic. People would have these monolithic views. If you are a Republican, you hold all these views, and you used to have. A lot of diversity among people in the same party. That maybe is changing. I mean, Thomas Massey is a Republican from Kentucky who is introducing this war powers bill and has been a very anti-war guy. I don't think there's. I think I'd seen someone post who had signed on to that what the current support was looking like, but I don't know if I can find that now. But not good, folks. I'm nervous about the channel, but I'm going to have to figure that out later. I don't know. I am curious if people do have tips on how to best do. I don't want to. I obviously want to be able to like play clips and stuff without getting the wrath of Tucker. I don't get how I could watch the entire mayoral debate, but I played a couple of clips of Tucker Carlson, and they canceled my dang entire stream. So we'll figure it out. All right, guys, I'm gonna sign off and try to figure out some stuff with the channel, but thanks to everybody who joined. It's been a blast. Let me know if there's a better way to go live or something, but I do want to keep it on YouTube. I like I like YouTube. It's very easy, but yeah, they're kind of screwing me here. But we'll figure it out. All right, y'all. Until next time. Peace.